Imagine your teacher says the average test score is 85, but most students actually scored way lower. How is that even possible? The mean, median, and mode are measures of center that can tell completely different stories, and knowing which one to use is the real skill. The first measure of center that we'll look at today is the mean. It's what most people call the average. The mean is the sum of all values divided by how many values there are. So this symbol stands for summation of all x values divided by n, where n is the total number of values. The mean can only be computed with quantitative data, that is, numbers that measure something. For instance, if we have test scores, here's our data: 70, 75, 80, 85, and 100. We have 5 test scores in this case. So in order to calculate the mean, we'll need to add up all our values: 70 plus 75 plus 80 plus 85 plus 100, and the sum will be 410. And then we'll divide by the total number of values, in this case 5. 410 divided by 5 is 82, so the mean is 82.0. One very high value, like a score of 100, can pull the mean up, making it seem higher than most scores actually are. So the mean is very sensitive to outliers. Those are extreme values. Therefore, use the mean when the data has no extreme outliers. The second measure of center we'll look at today is the median. What is the median? The median is the middle value when data is arranged in order. For instance, if we apply the same test scores, 70, 75, 80, 85, and 100, in this case our data is already arranged in order, and we have 5 values. So the middle value in this case is 80, so the median test score would be 80.0. But if we have an even number of values, let's say we had 70, 75, 80, 85, 100, and 105, in this case we have 6 values. So the median will be the mean of the 2 middle values. So in this case, my 2 middle values are 80 and 85. Therefore, the median will be 80 plus 85 divided by 2, which is 82.5. Once again, the median can only be computed with quantitative data, meaning numbers that measure something. It ignores extreme values. So we can use it even when outliers are present, because it is resistant to outliers, since it only takes into consideration the middle or the 2 middle values. The next measure of center we'll look at is what we call the mode. It's called a measure of center, but it won't necessarily be in the center of your data, because what the mode is, it's the value that appears most often in a data set. So for instance, if my data is 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, and 6. In this case, the value that appears the most in this data is 5. So my mode will be 5. You can have one mode in a data set, you could have multiple modes, or you could have no mode at all if every value appears only once. And the mode can be used for quantitative data, but it can also be used for categorical data. For instance, if I had color of eyes of people, and I have 30 people with blue eyes, 20 people with green eyes, 100 with brown eyes, and 2 with gray eyes, I would be able to identify the mode. In this case, it would be the most popular or the most common behavior, even for categorical data. So let's say that a billionaire walks into a coffee shop. The mean wealth automatically will skyrocket because his wealth is much greater than the rest of the people. But the median will stay the same because the mean considers all values, whereas the median only takes into consideration the middle, or the two middle values. This is exactly why statisticians don't rely just on one measure. A single extreme value can make the mean misleading, while the median gives a more honest picture of what's typical. When to use each measure. You will use the mean for test scores or temperatures or any data set without extreme outliers. The mean reflects the true center when the data is balanced. You will use the median for income or housing prices or any data set with outliers or skew. The median is the go-to for real-world economic data. And you will use the mode for the most popular choice or any categorical data where frequency matters most. Now you know the difference. The mean, median, and mode each reveal something different about your data, but the real skill is knowing which one to use. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to Fast Track Math to keep learning with us. And don't forget, math success starts when you stay on the fast track.